challenge from scrapartstash.blogspot.com, and this challenge is for the month of October. It is the Pick a Side sketch challenge. This challenge runs from October the 15th to the end of the month, and then they will pick a winner. And this one is really fun. You just pick either side that you would like to try to follow, and then you would also want to include twine and one tag and one tab, so you have to include those as well. And you can pretty much do whatever kind of layout you want. You just kind of have to follow the sketch or use a sketch for inspiration. Okay, and so in this video I'm going to be scrapping these pictures, which is of me and my dog, and then my sister with my dog Bella, and she was given as Doggie Kisses. And so I've already got a title for this layout. It's going to be Doggie Kisses. And I think I'm going to be doing both sides. I don't know in this video if I'm going to do both sides, but I do plan on doing a 2-page spread. And not sure if I'm going to be doing the right, the left, or both sides. I guess we'll find out once I get started. I don't want to make this video too long because it's going to be a scrapbook process video. Now I wanted to share with you the paper that I have selected. This is from a couple of different collections. These papers are, this one right here is the one that's kind of my inspiration. It's from a collection from DCWB called Playful Pets. And I think this collection is so cute. I also have some stickers from this collection as well. So I have the stickers, and I used it a few days ago to create another layout, but I still have some stickers left, so I have that. I also have some die cuts from this ephemera pack that I could use. And I also had some leftover, some cut apart that I cut apart. And yeah, so lots of things to use for embellishments. I also have a couple of papers that I might bring in that were also left over from my previous layout. And these were, this particular paper was from the collection from Photo Play called Fetch. So I have that paper. And then I have this really cute hearts. And this is also from the Playful, what is it called? The Playful Pets. Because this is actually a kitty paper. It's got yarn and mice on the back. But I bought it for the hearts. This is so cute. So I have that to play with. Okay, and then my other papers that I have here are this one here. This is from Doodlebug from a collection called Puppy Love. And this particular one is super cute. It's the Canine Chronicles. And I think what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking strips of this paper and using it for this part here in the sketch that has the plaid. I think that's what I'm going to do. And I probably will take like 2 of the columns of the newspaper and put it there where that plaid is. I'm also probably going to cut off the top piece here and possibly use that on another layout. Okay, and then I have this blue paper. This is like a really pretty aqua color or teal. And this is from the Echo Park Party Happy Birthday collection. It's Party Plaid. And then the back of it is a plaid. But I'm going to be using this side. And I think I'm going to be using this blue paper to make this piece right here that goes, I didn't really have anything to make that shape. So I took this Bow Bunny collection, and I'm going to be using, trying to find stuff here. Oh, here we go. I found this piece right here that has this really cool shape. And I'm going to trace that, and I'm going to make a piece using this. Now I know Bow Bunny, I have quite a few of these Bow Bunny ephemera packs. They came from Tuesday Mornings. And I know they have some really large pieces in these. So I looked through all my Bow Bunny die packs, and I was able to find this in there. So I'm going to use that as a way to trace to make that piece right there. Okay, and then let's see, the really cute one, that's going to be my focal point paper, my inspiration. I'm going to be using that as the largest piece of paper in the background. So okay, what else? I'm also going to be bringing in this color as my background. So this is going to be my background, and I'm thinking about using possibly one of these stickers and to make my title. So it's going to depend on, I think I'm going to wait till I kind of get the papers down and the pictures in place, and then I'm going to bring in these stickers and kind of make a decision on what I want to do. But I'm really leaning toward this cork thicker. It's really cool. I love the font, and so I might use that one. We'll see. I'll see when I get to that point. Okay, so those are all the things I'm going to be using to make the layout. I also probably need to bring in some twine and make a tag at some point. But I can't really scrap and talk at the same time, so I'm going to go ahead and just keep recording, and I will do a voiceover later, but I'm going to go ahead and start making the page. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start off by taking this pattern paper with these really cute words on it, and I'm going to cut it in half to a 6 by 12. And I think it was at this point that I just decided, hey, why not just go ahead and cut all the paper for both sides of this double-sided layout. So I'm going to be trimming this a little bit because in the sketch it did not go all the way down on the background. There was like a space there, and the corners were rounded. So I'm going to round off the bottom of the corners on the one for the left and the top of the corners for the one on the right. And I thought that was such a cute design element that it was opposite from the left and the right side. Okay, so now I'm going to be taking this other pattern paper that has kind of like the newsprint, and I'm going to be trying to cut this down, and I wanted to cut down 2 columns, and I did do that, and then I realized later that it was really too wide. It would have been nice if the columns would have been a little bit wider or a little bit narrower, so I could have, made it a different size, but in the end, I just went ahead and cut it down to 1 column because you can see there it was covering up too much of that other paper. Okay, so now I'm going to take this die cut that I pulled out of that Bo Bunny ephemera pack, and I'm going to trace it onto this paper, and that way I can make that piece that has that decorative edge to it. And I thought this was kind of a cool idea because I didn't really have a punch or a die or anything to be able to make that shape. And so using another die cut that I already had and just tracing it, it worked out really well. And I was able to make those pieces that I needed for both sides of the sketch. So now I'm going to go ahead and trim this to the size that I needed it to be, and I'm going to be fussy cutting this out. And it was kind of interesting, but I didn't realize that the decorative edge was only on one side and then it was a straight edge on the other. And so I'm just going to trim that off because, yeah, I fussy cut both sides and I didn't need to. So now I'm going to go ahead and make the second piece, and this process is pretty easy, and it kind of reminded me of using the Kiwi Lane templates. I had taken a class recently at a crop and with Kiwi Lane, and it was a lot of fun using those, and I'm still thinking that maybe I might buy some of those templates, and it would sure come in handy to be able to have something like that to be able to use to make these kind of borders. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and trim down this newsprint paper, and I just decided that was too wide. I'm just going to do 1 strip. That's a little bit narrow, but it really did work better to have just a 1 column of newsprint than to have the 2, because I didn't really want to cover up that much of that word pattern paper because I thought that paper was super cute. Okay, so now I'm going to be trimming down these pictures, and it was funny because I was going to trim that down with the little paper trimmer there, and I realized that my printer had printed that cricket, so I had to go ahead and use my bigger paper trimmer to trim that down to make it even because it was very crooked. I don't know, my printer must have fed the paper in crooked when it was printing it out. So I actually have quite a few different paper trimmers, and I use them all, and it's kind of interesting to me that I saw a funny post on Facebook just recently, and somebody said, how many paper trimmers does one person need? And I was thinking to myself when I saw that, I had to laugh because I probably have 5 or 6 paper trimmers, and I think I use them all. And so this little paper trimmer that I'm using here is the Creative Memories personal trimmer, and it is a guillotine trimmer, and I always love to use this one for cutting up my photos. I also have the green one that you saw me using. That's the Caterpillar Crop, And it's really good for trimming things really close. It's got a self-sharpening blade, and you can get really thin cuts with that paper trimmer. I also have the Fiskars paper trimmer, the one with the wire, and it's probably my favorite paper trimmer. And I have the larger Fiskars bypass rotary trimmer. And those are probably the four trimmers that I use the most, although I do have a few more. So I have a lot of paper trimmers, and I really wish somebody would make a paper trimmer that would just do everything that's awesome about all of these different paper trimmers, because the Caterpillar Pro has an awesome blade, and you can get some really sharp lines on it, but the measurements are very difficult to read, and there's no paper guide, and so when you're holding the paper down, it's really hard sometimes to keep the paper from moving. With the Fiskars trimmer, the one with the wire, I love having the wire because it's so easy to see where you're going to cut. But then the blade gets dull so quickly, and you have to keep replacing the blades. Yeah, and then the other Fiskars one is super awesome. It has a self-sharpening blade, but then there's no measurements around the 6-inch mark, and because it folds in half. So all of these different trimmers have really awesome things that are good about them, and they also have really not so good things about them. So I don't know. I just I really wish a company would come out with a paper trimmer that would have the best of all of those trimmers, because that would be super awesome. So I got all my photos cut down, and now I'm going to take this red pattern piece of paper, and I'm going to cut a circle with this Martha Stewart circle cutter, and it cuts circles from 2 to 12 inches. So it's really a cool tool, and it's super easy to use. And I think at first I did cut a 4-inch circle, but that was too small. So now I'm going to try to cut a bigger one. And I didn't really have enough paper there, but I'm just going to make it work. I think because that one is too small. And then the other one, I like the size of it better. So I'm just going to tuck it in there. And you won't even notice that it's not a whole circle. Okay, so now I'm going to take this other strip of red pattern paper, and I'm going to grab a border punch. This punch is from EK Success, and it is a little dog paw print punch, and it's super cute, and I think it went so well with this layout. And I'm just going to go ahead and punch out a border, because on the sketch there was a place on both the left and the right side that had a little decorative border like this. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and grab my cutting board. I'm going to be matting my pictures. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to mat the pictures on this white cardstock, but I'm going to leave a little bit of white in between each picture. I like doing that when I have a series of pictures like this, where the pictures are almost identical, but there's just differences. It's like almost like a little film strip. Um, and so I like to kind of have that separation. I think it's really cute. And I'm just going to go ahead and mat these pictures. And I'm going to grab my We Are Memory Keepers layering guides. I just love using these layering guides, and makes it so easy to get an even mat all the way around the picture. I'm going to grab the one that's the 1/8 inch, and I'm just going to go ahead and make my mat. Now I'm using an X-Acto knife and just cutting that using these layering guides. So I love using the layering guides like this because I have such a trouble trying to get an even mat when I use a paper trimmer. I really like using these layering guides because I can really get a really nice mat all the way around the picture. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing for these 3 pictures that are going to be going on to the left side of the double layout. So one of the other things I really like about using these layering guides is you don't really have to worry about where you put the pictures on the cardstock, because you're going to go around all 4 sides and make the border. And so you could just put it on there Cricut even, and you would still be able to go all the way around that with the layering guides and make it come out even with the same size border around the entire mat. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and trim this piece in half because I need to make another border strip, because I needed something for both the left and the right side. And I'm just going to go ahead and punch this out with this border punch. Okay, so, and I'm going to trim that off, trim that branding strip off. Okay, so I have these border strips created and I went ahead and attached them to the photos, and I'm going to go ahead and start gluing down these papers. I wanted to try to kind of get that down so that it didn't keep moving around. It was kind of bugging me because, you know, sometimes when you have so many pieces of paper there, it just, it's easier if you just start getting things glued down and in place, and making some decisions, because sometimes I just have a really hard time of committing to something. But since I'm following the sketch, this part was pretty easy because I was just following, you know, along with what the sketch had. So I'm going to go ahead and glue down that circle, and I'm going to glue down that newsprint, and just get these pieces glued down. And I really like doing these sketch challenges because I find it really makes the layout go faster, because some of the decisions are made for you and you don't have to, you know, kind of like second guess every little thing that you do. So now I'm going to go ahead and put in this decorative piece, and trying to figure out where to place my photos. A lot of times when I'm doing a double page layout, I like to have some element go from the right to the left side, you know, kind of continuous. So I'm thinking my photos would meet in the middle, but then as I'm working with this and trying to figure out the placement, I figure out that it doesn't really look good like that. So I'm going to end up changing it in a minute. But yeah, I first started out trying to make the photos go all the way across, and that didn't quite work out. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and glue down all this stuff on the right hand side as well. And I'm kind of happy that I decided to do both at the same time. I actually think that when you're going to make a two-page layout, that it's easier to just do it all at the same time than to have to go back later and make the second page. Okay, so this is where I figured out it actually looked better if the pictures didn't meet in the middle. So the pictures on the left were pictures of me and my dog Bella, and the ones on the right are my sister Terry and my dog Bella. And my dog Bella loves to give kisses, and so we were goofing around. My sister had picked her up, and she was just, Bella was just going crazy kissing her, so we just started taking pictures, and these pictures are so cute. Yeah, Bella, she's kind of dangerous because she loves to give kisses, and if you're not careful, she puts her tongue in your ear, in your mouth, up your nose. She's pretty dangerous, so you got to be careful when you try to let her give you a kiss. And then my other dog, Lily Bell, she gives such little bitty kisses, and she will only kiss you on your chin. And so it's kind of funny that I have one dog that just licks you everywhere, and then I have another dog that's so picky and gives such tiny, stingy kisses. So they're pretty funny. It's funny that dogs have, you know, such personalities, and they're so different. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and take these die cuts out of that ephemera pack that came from the DCWV Playful Pets, and I have the ephemera, and I also have that 6x12 sticker sheet. And I have to use a tag and also a tab on each of these different pages. And so I pulled out that tab with the heart, and I'm going to be using that on the right page. And then I also pulled out that tag that had the blue dots, and I end up not actually using that at all. So I'm going to go through quite a different, you know, pieces of ephemera trying to figure out what's going to go on this layout. I pulled out these tags and tried a white one. I didn't like that one. And then I tried out this craft colored one, and I really like that one, so I'm going to use that. I also tried the different thickers, and the brown thickers, the cork ones that I wanted to use, it was just really blending too much into the background. And so I pulled out these yellow glitter stickers instead, and I ended up using those. But I was having some trouble figuring out where to put them to where they would stand out on the layout. And the title in the sketch was on the left-hand side. And so I tried the title here, and I tried also using these little craft colored circle. There's like a typewriter, looks like a typewriter key. I tried those and I don't know, it just wasn't looking right. So I ended up not using those and I found some other stickers to spell the word kisses that I'm going to add later. So I did try putting those little circle letters a couple different places and I just couldn't make it work. I think it was because the layout was just super busy, that paper there, and it just didn't look right. So I went ahead and got out my book of alphas. This is like all my flat mini alphas that I have, and I have it in this old Happy Planner. And I have it sorted by color, and I'm just looking through here trying to figure out if I could find one that would work. And I was kind of thinking that I would use aqua or red or yellow, and I ended up using this yellow alpha, it's little squares, and I think that stood out so much better because I like doing that. If I have a busy background and I'm trying to put letters on top of it, if you use the ones that have the little squares, it actually does stand out more from the background. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the word kisses right there under doggy, and I think that looks way better than those circle letters that I was trying to use. So I'm going to get this kisses lined up there, and then I'm going to be looking through these tags. I have a bin full of tags that I had made, and when I have scraps, I take anything that's 2 inches and I turn it into a tag using my Stampin' Up. I have two different punches that have different styles of tags, and I use that, and I just have a bin full of those tags. And I'm going to take this yellow polka dotted tag and add some twine. And I left this in here because I just wanted to show that sometimes, you know, when you have something that you think is going to work and it looks pretty good with the layout, then you add something else that you like better, and then part of it that maybe not go. You know, I think it's okay to just change your mind and just, you know, go with something else. So I'm going to bring in this little doggy. It's off the sticker sheet. And also this little speech bubble with a heart in it. And I just think that's so cute. And I tried to use that troublemaker, but I think it was just too busy for the layout. So I brought in this little saying that says, "Be the person your dog thinks you are." Now, when I brought that in, that yellow tag did not work anymore for me. I just, yeah, it was just not working. So I'm going to have to go back later and change that. So I'm going to go ahead and bring back in the craft colored tag, and I think that works much better with the layout than having that yellow. That it was kind of too light of a color of yellow, I think. And so yeah, I think that looks much cuter. So I'm going to bring back in my twine, and I'm going to be trying to figure out what color twine should I use. And this is a ribbon ring that I have where I have these ribbon hang tags. And I took a couple of yards of each color of twine that I have, and I just put it onto these ribbon rings, and I have it hanging on the side of my Rascog cart. Okay, so now I'm going to be going through this ephemera pack. This is from Photo Play from the Fetch collection. And I found a couple of pieces in here. I was looking for a tab, and I was able to find that little tab that said Good Girl. And then at the bottom there, I also added that a dog laughs with his tail, that little red banner, which is super cute, and it brings the red down to the bottom of the layout. So I have these paper clips that I got at Tuesday mornings, and I'm going to bring in one of those, and it's shaped like a little dog, and I love using these paper clips on my layouts that I do for my dogs. I think it's so cute and adds such a cute touch to a layout. Okay, and I'm going to take this scrap piece of paper that I had cut into a circle that I didn't use, and I decided I needed to have more red on the right hand side of the layout, and I also needed a tag. And so I'm going to turn this little piece of paper into a tag using my Stampin' Up! Punch. And I love using those Stampin' Up! Punches because you can make tags out of any 2-inch strip of paper. So it's really a cool punch to have. I don't know, I think they still sell that at Stampin' Up! I'm going to take some blue and white twine, the same twine that I used on a tag on the left-hand side, and I'm just going to add that to that tag. And I'm going to pop this up a little bit on foam tape, and then I'm just going to tuck it under the tab right there at the top of that page and stick that down. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do is I need to add some more embellishments. So I'm going to go back and look at the 6x12 sticker sheet. And I just wish that this whole sticker sheet had more of these little dogs that look like my dog, because this looks just like a little Yorkie. And it's just a little Yorkie head. And I think it's so cute to take these little heads and just tuck them in to make it look like that little dog is peeking out from behind that tab. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that little dog head right there. Isn't that cute? I just love that. That's just so funny. So I'm going to go ahead and glue down my twine on both of my tags on both sides of the layout, and just love that little dog peeking out there. That's so cute. Okay, so now I'm going to be adding some enamel dots, and I have this acrylic door unit that has, I have these enamel dots by the rainbow, and so I'm going to pull out some teal and then red and yellow enamel dots. And then I'm just going to scatter those over my layout. I like using 3 different colors, especially on a layout like this where it's kind of a fun, playful layout with a lot of really bright colors, and I think it's really cute to just use 3 different colors of enamel dots. I also like to put my enamel dots on the edges of things, like where paper meets, and also I like to put them, kind of tuck them under things like a tag or, you know, an ephemera. See how I tucked it under that little banner at the bottom that said "A dog laughs with his tail"? I just think that looks really cute, having it kind of peeking out from behind something. Okay, so I've got the enamel dots added, and I'm just going back and looking to see if there's anything else that I want to add from this 6x12 sticker sheet. And I found this little saying that says "for real," and I added that on top of the tab there. I kind of wish it was a different color because it blended a little bit into that, but I still think it looks cute. Okay, so now I'm going to take these Tim Holtz word stickers, and I'm just going to pick out some different sayings here and add them to my layout. I really wanted to add that one over to the left-hand side of the layout, but it was just too long, and so I ended up putting it right there above the word fetch. And so I thought that was really cute. And then I'm going to put one over here with the tag. I'm going to move that woof up so I can put that little word sticker underneath. I just love adding words to my layouts because I think that it just really adds to the story of the layout. It kind of tells a story when you pull different word stickers and different word embellishments to add to your layout. I kind of wish I would have put that word sticker above, but I ended up putting it below. Sometimes when you're watching things back in the video, you wish you would have done something different, but it's stuck down there, so I'm not going to be moving that. Okay, so here's some close-ups of the layout. And I'm also going to be including actual pictures of the layout at the end if you want to stick around and see that. I'll have some close-ups and the full layout as well. So I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a like, and if you would like to see more videos, please subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye now.